All right, welcome back to another episode of Paranormal Bad Bitches. Today we are going over the Independence State Hospital. Now, before we begin, I want to make something very clear. I am not in any way mocking, making fun of, or insulting any patients that have ever been in this hospital, past or present, for the last 150 years. I emailed the Independence State Hospital to see if there was any chance that we'd be able to do an overnight investigation in the museum portion of the hospital, as it still is an open and active hospital. And they got really upset with me for asking. Now, someone like me who understands mental illness and does not take it as a joke, I was like super mind boggled that they took it so far out of context. So I just want to make that very clear. They have always given the best care to their patients at the Independence State Hospital, whether they knew it or not, because we have a better understanding of mental health and mental illnesses today than we used to. But they always gave the best care they thought was best for their patients. And they want these patients to feel like they have a home to go to with respect and dignity. So I want to make that very clear before we begin, because I am in no way, shape, or form trying to insult or mock any of the patients at the Independence State Hospital. Okay. Now, trigger warning, we do discuss some old psychiatric treatments, mental disabilities, seizures, and things that can really bother some viewers, so viewer discretion is advised. Now, the Independence State Hospital started getting built in 1868 and finished in 1873 for becoming the second asylum in Iowa. Now, the first asylum was Mount Pleasant. And some fun facts about the institute is Dr. Thomas Kirkbride. He opened the institute as mental health. Was not looked at as it is today. Like I just said, like we have a better understanding of what we didn't know back then. And before institutes were a thing, families tend to either ship them off to a poor farm, kind of like the Edinburgh Manor, or lock them in a room and just kind of keep them hidden. So he wanted a location for patients to come and be respected and have dignity and have better living conditions, because no matter where they were before that, the conditions weren't great. And he began the project with hopes that he could have a safe place to go and get the help, respect, and a clean place to live. So during your stay there, he thought if he built this huge building in the country and gave them the opportunity for farmland, crops, animals, and nature trails, these people would have been treated well and received the respect and dignity that they very well deserve. The Independence State Hospital is in Independence, Iowa. The original plan for patients was to relieve crowding from Mount Pleasant, which was opened in 1861. And it was constructed in 1855 to 1865 at a cost of $400,000. And it closed in 2015, but they plan to construct a crisis line for mental disorders like schizophrenia, which is pretty cool, in my opinion. Now, Independence State Hospital held alcoholics, geriatrics, drug addicts, mentally ill, and criminally insane. And along with the regular people back then, just because, you could be hospitalized for something that we consider normal today. So some people were completely fine, but locked up in the mental institute because they were, I don't know. Could you imagine being like completely fine and locked up in like a mental institute? Considering how the clinically insane were treated long before our understanding of mental conditions became what it is today, the practices of handling mental health was much different. Some of the treatments that were done were hydrotherapy. Basically, they would exercise in a pool to help with conditions such as arthritis or partial paralysis, also known as a hydrotherapy pool. We actually had, so we call it the rec pool. I used to work at the YMCA, and we had this class called Early Bird, and they would come in and do workouts in the pool, and it was actually pretty cool to watch just because it does help and it does work. So I think that's pretty cool. That's still active today. Metrol convulsion therapy. It was a form of shock therapy. They would inject Metrol, which is short for pentylenediol. I don't know how to say that. Sorry, guys. Basically, it would induce convulsions and coma. But because of the fatality rate was so high from the result of this procedure. This medical practice was actually discontinued in the 1940s. And another one is insulin shock therapy. They would inject you with large amounts of insulin every day to basically put you into a coma for extended periods of times. Artificial fever therapy. This method was known to kill over half the diseases in the 20th century. Basically what they would do is raise your body temp and maintain your body temp at 105 degrees, killing off many diseases, as not many diseases can survive that kind of temperature. Now, I'm pretty sure most people have heard of this, but it's electroshock therapy. If you haven't, what they do is they basically put two pieces of equipment here on each side of your temple, and they send current, like electric current, through your brain. And basically what it does is it intentionally triggers a seizure. I'm not sure exactly what it does. Another one they used to do is lobotomy. Basically what they would do is they would take a tube and put it in your tear duct here and poke it into your brain and do something to your brain, but I'm pretty sure those have changed by now. But I'm not a doctor, so I don't know. Some of the things that you could get admitted for back then in any mental institute, not just the independent state hospital: laziness, egotism, disappointed love, female disease, mental excitement, cold or snuff, greediness, imaginary female trouble, gathering in the head, exposure and quackery, jealousy, religion, asthma, masturbation, and bad habits. So if that doesn't just kind of, I mean, granted, some of this is probably still valid today to a certain extent. Really, any of these, too much of one thing is not a good thing. So, like, addiction can be a cause of any of this, but yeah, I don't know. Just imagine being caught masturbating just one time. You wanted to try it, and boom. Now, this is still open to this day, housing the mentally disabled. Some of the portions of the institute are actually used as nursing school and a drug and alcohol rehabilitation clinic. Now, they have turned some of the building into a museum that you can actually go and tour for yourself. May 1st, they are opening it up. It's their 150th anniversary. They did invite me to that after I gave them an explanation of not offending anybody. They were very sweet after that. It was just a miscommunication. They do have the first electroshock therapy machine on display, and you can see the graveyard that's on site, hydrotherapy tubes, and lobotomy equipment from the asylum's gruesome and dim past. Now, just to be very clear, they gave their patients the best care possible to what they thought at the time. I am not offending or trying to. I was actually almost not going to do this episode because I don't want to piss anyone off. They gave the best care to their patients, and they still do to this day. And the fact that the doctor or whoever responded to me was like so defensive, I actually think that's really great. Because if I was a patient there, I mean, that's what I would expect. I'd want my caretakers to stand up for me. Like, I get where he's coming from. Like, I was probably in the wrong to even ask if we could do an overnight investigation. But I thought asking couldn't do any harm because it was either a yes or no. And I guess I was wrong. So, yeah. Good for you for standing up for your patients. I think that's really awesome. Now, some of the encounters, paranormal-wise, that people have seen till this day, ghosts and former staff and patients are seen in the building and on the grounds. People have reported being touched or pushed by unseen forces. Voices, whispers, and laughter is heard. Doors open and close on their own. Phantom footsteps are heard as well, which I don't know about you guys, but like that would scare me. I don't do phantom footsteps well. I don't like being chased. Lights have also been known to flicker or simply turn off or on. So that's all for this video. It's kind of a short one. I didn't want to go into too many details because I don't want to step on anyone's toes. But I also am really fascinated by the history of the building. And I hope that if they see this, they're not upset that I decided to do the video. I'm pretty sure I was really clear, though, that the hospital is great. So we'll see. I don't mean to offend anyone. I'm not mocking any of the patients there. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm like really anxious to post this. I don't want to step on anyone's toes. So that's all for today. If you guys like the video to let us know. If you guys don't like the video, comment down below and tell me what we can improve on, or your favorite part, or what you think. And don't forget to subscribe and support our channel, because we're only gonna get better from here. So we will see you guys next week for the Whaley House. Peace.